Hey guys, it's Enwa and welcome to the first episode of the Batman Forever project. So this is a brand new Batman inspired project where we will be recreating the Stevenson Taylor Hall, which was used in Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Joker, and the Gotham series. So I have been hard at work looking for images from both films and the TV, looking at blueprints if I can, although it is used as an educational place, so I'm not surprised they wouldn't allow blueprints, but things that are inspired by the same shape of the manor. Now, as you can see, there's been a lot that's been done, although it's the first episode. So, I'm just going to give you a little recap of what's been happening because my health has been really down the drain at the moment, and I've had to have a lot of time to rest, and I was also hospitalized at one point. So, yeah, it hasn't been lucky, and my throat has been really bad, so I haven't been able to talk properly or record or stream. So, this is what it looks like right now. But let's go back in time where I was still playing Minecraft and resource gathering, and I'll show you all the time lapses of what I was up to. Right, starting off, I was on a hunt for a very nice big area of land which is fairly flat, and also the possibility of having a really nice cave underneath. So I found this little area which is just across the pond from the Arkham Manor, and I am right at it trying to flatten it because of course this is a massive building and actually much bigger than the one that we did for the Arkham. So here I am getting my beacon and grabbing every single piece of block in my way, making sure that we're at a very good Y level. And I also just wanted to bear in mind of making like a road going out towards the sea, I guess. I know it doesn't make sense, but I wanted to keep it fairly flat with maybe 1 or 2 levels of height, and that's pretty much it. So here it is, looking completely flat, and it is time to grab some netherrack to just jot down the size of the building. Now this is just a really rough idea. Of course, I think I've actually done it wrong on the time lapse, so I will have to go back and look it through. But I have made a very rough idea on a flat world, so I'm just kind of copying the dimensions for that. So here I am, placing it all down, and of course I need to do some more terraforming, which is a bit of a pain, and a lot of dirt had to be used. So we are here patching it all up, making sure it looks very nice, making it even on both sides, but of course quite rugged and making it look very natural. And as you saw back there, I was just passively collecting some clay, some mud to turn it into clay. And as time went by, it actually didn't make sense for me to do this. Of course, it's a nice passive way to get it, but I need a lot of bricks. This is a very brick heavy project. So I left the idea of passively getting mud and drying it out to make it clay. I am back in the Batcave for the Arkham Manor, and I am grabbing as much clay as possible from this lush area. And I will say it's a bit of a nightmare. The amount of water that gets in the way is just really a big nuisance for me. But either way, I was going in and out looking for kind of small enclosed areas full of clay, which I was quite lucky to. And of course, we are back in the desert. This is my beloved desert that I've used for a long time now for just sand and sandstone collecting, which of course is, once again, a big part of this project as well. So I apologize if you are also building this in survival. You will need more sand and sandstone. But to the point, it's kind of helpful that I'm quite low down now with this desert, so I'm just collecting so much sandstone. So, without further ado, let's head on back and let's start getting the bases down. So here is the rough idea that I have done in a creative flat world, and over in the distance, this is where I did my Arkhamverse tutorial video. So I just want to give you a little quick hint of what it's going to look like as of right now. Of course, I haven't done the entire building. I still want to do this very much on the go, but I still want to add a lot more planning and adding those intricate designs for this building. So of course, on creative, it's easy making it quite big, but I've got to build it in survival too. So you can see we are using a lot of bricks and a lot of sandstone. It is very much kind of evenly placed out. Excuse you, mister. And we have a bunch of cool windows, and I really wanted to do a new design for this to make it look quite nice. So I've used some walls and some trapdoors. Also kind of doing this 2-layered wall type thing. So as you can see, there is a bunch of wall at the very top, and this is going to help me out with the right blueprint. So as you saw in the previous time lapses, I did this with netherrack. And now since I've got the kind of base design, although it might actually be wrong, I've grabbed some wool as well from the sheets. So I'm going to pop down the correct blueprint into the right world, and I won't show you any more of this because there's still a lot more blueprint designs in there, and I won't give that away until much later. But I do want to reassure you, if you are watching this as like a tutorial base, there will be a tutorial video once this is done. I can't predict when that will be. But there will be a tutorial video for it. I don't know when. But I'll try my best to kind of walk through everything in the series anyways. So if you don't want to wait, God knows how long, like months this might take, then I will also do that. And another thing to add is, if this is up for demand, I will do once again another Batcave, but I'll just list it into the same series as this one, so just the Batman Forever project. And I also have got some other requests coming through from the previous tutorial videos and cinematic videos. So I'm really thinking about doing a Batcave tutorial. So although it's going to be quite difficult because everything is dependent on the world generation and the terrain of your world, I still want to highlight the key parts I used for my Batcave, because some people may not understand where to start and they might get really overwhelmed. So I thought maybe it might be a good idea to just highlight a few of those things. And of course I did mainly use inspiration from the Batman Origins, Arkham Origins even. So that is definitely up for discussion. And another thing as well is, I'm very late to the discussion, but Superman came out and it was fantastic. And another part of that was building the Fortress of Solitude, because why not? It will be a very different atmosphere that I've never done before. It's not a proper building, so it's a lot of ice and probably a lot of glass as well, so that's definitely on the cards. If anyone else would be interested if I would do that, I might do that as a creative project rather than a series in survival. I'm not really sure yet. We are fully far away from any of that, and we are still focusing on this one. But regardless, I just want to pop those little things out there just so you know. But I'm going to pop back in to the survival world, and we're going to start popping all of this wool into the right colours. I mean, I didn't use this many colours, so just going to roll with me. We're just going to use netherrack and other easy blocks. But anyways, let's get to it. Alrighty, so it has taken some time because, of course, in old fashion, I did it completely wrong. So I have now changed the things that weren't correct, and I've tried my best to kind of color coordinate what things are in terms of number and if it's a window or whatever. So I'll give you a little quick rundown. So we have this white wall here, which is just one block, or if it's used for anything else, it will be used as a doorway. So we have 3 blocks here as like filler. We have 6 blocks, which is red wool. And I've used sand for things that are just kind of filler, or if it's kind of a 1 block item next to a door like that. Then looking down, this blue wall here is 4 blocks and is also a window. Although these 2 ones are 3 blocks but still a window. And that is pretty much it in terms of colour and what blocks I've used. And I've done it a block higher because I wanted to add a little foundation onto this building, although it's very much on the ground, but I wanted to add just a little bit of something. So what I'm going to be doing now is I have got my sand and I'm going to be turning a lot of it into cut sandstone. I believe that's what it's called. A bunch of this, and I'll also need some sandstone stairs, which won't need any smooth sandstone, so that is fine. And I'm going to show you a little pattern of what I'll be doing across this entire area. Okie dokie, so we're going to start in the middle here, and what I'm going to do is, this is going to be different for this part only, and of course everything else will then be very similar. So I'm going to get a piece of cut sandstone and put these sandstone stairs underneath like so. So I will be putting all the scaffolding back on when I'm going through all of this. So I'll do that on exactly the same side, because the front has a little bit different design. And then what I'll do is grab some more stairs and pop that like so. And this will be a little bit more of a fancier entrance. Now, going on to this side, this is going to be kind of a rinse and repeat. Although it's getting kind of dark, so let me quickly sleep and I'll show you the rest of the design. So what I'll be doing is I'm just going to focus on these blue parts at the moment. And I'm going to put some cut sandstone on either side. And then I'm going to join it up underneath with some upside down stairs. This will be exactly the same on the other side. So I'll pop them like this and like that. So I've kind of sectioned it all separately, and this is what it's going to look like all the way around. So I'll have these 2 as like little pillars and a little bit of detail all the way around. So I'm going to go and just do this on the exactly the same side all the way across. So I don't want it to be too over the top. Like, I mean, it is just a little foundation, and to be honest, we don't really need it. But hey, I really wanted to add one. So let's pop this one in the corner, like that. And copying it over. And then what I'll also do is, of course, I have got my little spruce tree farm on the go. And just for now, I do want to spice the flooring up a lot more this time, because I really used a lot of spruce slabs. So although I might go against my word and still use it, but what I'll be doing is I'm just covering this entire area here with spruce slabs, just so I've got a little baseline of what's going on. I think I have a shulker box somewhere. There we go. So I'll pop on over here, and I'm just going to fill up this entire area, completely forgetting about the foundation. So on this level here, and that will go all the way across this entire area. Hoping I have enough spruce. I know I do have a little bit more of it there, but of course, time will tell. See. So let's get cracking. And another thing to add is I'm just going to leave this little section where these doors are just out at the moment, because I don't really remember what the design was. I don't think it is that over the top. But I'm just going to leave it out for now and then continue going all the way around. Okay, so I've popped down the foundation around nearly the entire area. And I just want to go through all kind of the doorways as well. So what I'll be doing here is I'm just going to remove this side and this side. Not very helpful that it decided to rain. But either way, what I'm going to be doing as well, I'm just going to grab these 2 pieces of sand. And I'm adding some cut sandstone here. And then I might as well just leave the netherrack there. And I'm just going to add a little staircase popping forward. So I'm going to just pop that sand back so I know what that is. And I'll repeat that exactly on the same side. So let's run all the way over there. Although this time it's in netherrack. So placing all of this. So we've got stair, block, stair. And then we have a bunch of stairs popping out like this. So that is the first section. And then we're going to go all the way around to the right to doors. But it is very, very simple. So I've just added in some cut stone there. And I'm just going to add one more block like that. And then adding some little stairs on this side. Very, very simple. No need to go over the top. And as we go on to the other side, which is a bit of a trek, I really didn't think about how big this building was going to be and how many resources it's going to need as well. Let's pop up here and let me get my reference picture real quick. And it is pretty simple, so I'm going to add in these cut stone on either side. Then I'm going to add in another one, so I'm just going to remove the sand as of right now. Like that. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add an extra block on either side and then join it up with some stairs, because I have a little bit of a more fancier design that goes up. This is purely going to be a sandstone section, and I'm just going to pop in the rest of that sand. And then last but not least is the back entrance, which is a little bit more different. So we are going for a completely different design for this. So I've popped another block there, and I'm going to get some sandstone stairs and turn them upside down and join it at the back like this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an odd looking shape here, and I'll be doing another corner again with sandstone stairs. Then popping it out like this, adding some stairs, going all the way around. I think this might be a little bit too out by one, but we can always change that whenever. And I'm going to do exactly the same. Actually, I think it is. Let me change that real quick. There we go, that's much better. And I'm going to do that exactly the same on the other side. Doing it like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up the rest of this with slabs. So this is going to go all the way across. So this is kind of like a little balcony area, which is also used on the other floor. So I've added this kind of odd structure at the back, but again, it was on Google Maps. Don't blame me. That's just how it is. But like I said, what I'm going to do now is get all my spruce slabs and cover this entire area. And over time, of course, once I add in bathrooms, kitchens, ballrooms, you name it, the floor is going to change. And like I said, I kind of want to spice it up a little bit more, so I might do some stripped dark oak as a type of flooring. I kind of want to lean more into more of like a gothic-y style when it comes to this building. Although this is like different for every single type of media that we've seen it in. So Gotham does have a few interior photos. Same with Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. There's like a few little bits and bobs. So we're going to try and merge all those different styles together. So it is this kind of like rustic gothic-y style. I'm not really entirely sure if there's a proper name for it. But regardless, let's just get cracking into what we need to do. Okay, so the blueprint has been put down, so let's go through and talk about it. Now, one thing to always point out with my builds is I like to separate it into private and public sides. So I usually put the right side as private, left side as public, and yeah, there's no really proper explanation for that. But either way, let's keep going. So we're going to start on this massive area here on this left side. And this will be our ballroom because this is a very weird shaped manor. So I thought I really want to give a lot of room for this ballroom. It really needs a lot of space, and I just showed some pictures earlier about the interior design, and one of those was the ballroom from, I think it was Batman Forever. I don't fully remember. But yeah, there was just a long corridor, and I thought this would fit so well. And you can go through the main door or side door right here. I thought it'd be really convenient. So that's that. Then, as we go through, so dirt is kind of resembling doors or open walls, pretty much. So we have this like entrance here. I might make this into like a powder room on something, but there will be a little bathroom under here. But if we go through this area here, we've got a display room. This was going to be a games room, but I thought this could be like a little room to help join the other rooms together, if that makes sense. So a little museum or painting gallery or something like that, I thought would be quite fitting. And we've also got this other door here as well, so you can come through, go either side into this public area. So here we've got some stairs, so I'm kind of thinking adding a bathroom underneath the stairs. Yeah, like try and use up as much space as possible. This might be pushed up a little bit. I'm not entirely sure yet, but of course, everything's subject to change. And as we go to the back, we've got a public lounge, and this is quite big. Thinking of maybe adding like a little spiral staircase in a corner or something, but only time will tell. Then in this section over here, we have a games room, so I have swapped them over. So this is kind of off to one side. It could join up with the lounge, and we've got some other doorways that can go through into this area. And I wanted to give it a little bit more space because my last games room was very limited to just a pool table and a bar, and I thought that wasn't good enough. So I want to add a little bit more, and I think because of how big this place is, I think the second floor might have more like games rooms and stuff like that as well. So I think there might be a few duplicate rooms, but in their own different style, if that makes sense. So that's one thing to consider. We have a powder room very close to our main entrance, and then on this side we have a cloakroom. So this might even get pushed back a little bit to give space for the bathroom, but again, once I start putting up walls, only then can we see. Then we are back into the middle, and I'm just going to leave this part out at the moment because there are two pictures that will be used for the design of this like main hall, and it's also used in the Penguin, and I can't remember which one it was used. I think it was Batman and Robin, I don't remember, but it was the same building where there's like just a bunch of sandstone stairs on either side going up with small part leading out to like other places. So I thought it'd be really fitting to add that in, so there's enough space to walk around, but then also got up these stairs on either side. Of course, you can go straight through the back, or we've got this hallway that kind of runs through either side of the house. So moving on onto the right side now, we have a little bit more closed off walls and stuff. So over here we have a dining room. So I wanted to have a lot of space for this. I've got a good amount of plans for it. I don't want to be really limited on size of the rooms for this build. I really want to give things a go, and I think it's a nice little upgrade without feeling too overwhelmed. So of course you can go through this side, this way, and there will also be a doorway into the kitchen. So at the back right wing we have got, is that a bat I just heard? I swear I just heard a bat. Okay. Why are the horses here? Hello? Does that... I think there's definitely bats living underneath this house. Okay. Fitting. Okay. But yeah, we have a kitchen area, and again, I wanted to add some more space, and I think we'll definitely have a bar section on that side as well, kind of a whole room kind of dedicated to it, I think. But only time. Again, time will tell. Then on this side, we have this kind of landing open space area. We can add in some just bookshelves, little tables, you know, the cluttery things we like to do. Have another set of stairs which will wind all the way up. And in this big room on this side, hello, we have a library. And again, the library will have 2 floors because I love doing that. I love having an open balcony for the library. I think it's just so nice. And of course, in our reference images, there is, of course, a massive library with a balcony. So hey, can't go wrong with that. So we have, again, another entrance area. So this is much smaller in comparison to over there. So we have this little entrance, and you're kind of limited to going left or right. So on the far right at the front will be a study. So I really like the idea of doing the Gotham study room in this part, or a kind of variation of it. So having a massive table here and just books upon books on either side, I think it'll look really, really nice. And of course, it being at the front of a house, I don't feel like it's too intruding. We can do some sort of like curtain design or something of the sort, but I've got to play around with blocks, and I do want to update my Minecraft as soon as possible because I really want those shelf blocks. I need them for this build. If I don't have them, I'm going to riot. So I definitely need to upgrade my game as soon as possible. And the last room on this side is a very small lounge. I had a small lounge, and then I had a little TV room upstairs. And I kind of want to do very similar design, but I feel like this, I've got, again, a much bigger space. These bats are driving me insane. So I don't want to be too limited with space. And I think it's quite a nice little area, and I think it'll be fitting to have another lounge going up on this side, maybe above the kitchen or something of the sort. But again, we can play around with that soon. And there are bats. Oh my gosh! Okay, I lit up places that were 2 blocks high. I didn't expect this. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh yeah, it's not tall enough for creepers because it's like a trapdoor height or something of the sort, like it's a weird height. I forgot about spiders. So, oh my gosh. I need to make more torches. I've used it all to light up this entire area. Of course. Right. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video here. And I will say I think this is a very suiting introduction to this new project. I'm really unsure if it should be Project Batman Forever or Batman Forever Project. If there's a preference, please let me know, because I don't know. The next episode, I'll be showing you the wall design, and hopefully building this up a little bit more. Maybe about interior walls. I haven't given it much thought yet. I've just thought about the blueprint. So of course we can do a little play around. Of course I've left this like little gap here because it's going to be a double wall. Because of the amount of design and details on this part here. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And I'm just going to continue grinding for materials for the next episode because that's what I do best. But anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye!